D1GN 18001835 Neil Heslin and Scully Lewis versus Alex E. Jones and Free Speech Systems LLC. Could I have announcements for the plaintiff, please? And if Mr. Bankston, you'll just announce everybody, please. Lewis versus Alex E. Jones and Free Speech Systems LLC. Could I Lewis versus Alex E. Jones and Free Speech Systems LLC. Lewis versus Alex E. Jones and Free Speech Systems. And I'm going to officially call the case. This is cause number D1GN 18001835 Neil Heslin and Scully Lewis versus Alex E. Jones and Free Speech Systems LLC. Could I have announcements for the plaintiff, please? And if Mr. Bankston, you'll just announce everybody, please.
Sure. Your Honor, Mark Bankston for the plaintiffs, Wesley Ball, Kyle Farah, William Ogden.
And your clients are with you today?
Yes, Your Honor. Announcing also is my clients, Neil Heslin and Scarlett Lewis.
All right. Mr. Renault?
Andino Reynal for defendant Alex Jones. With me in the courtroom, Joe Magliolo, West Medlin.
And you also represent Free Speech Systems, don't you?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, and I know you'll make those introductions again when the jury comes out. That's fine. This is just for the record here today. We previously had a discussion off the record, myself, Mr. Bankston, and Mr. Renault, regarding an opening statement by the court to the jury just to lay the land a little bit for them. I'm not going to read it now because I'm going to read it in a minute, but I want to put on the record that you're in agreement with this statement, Mr. Bankston.
No objection, Your Honor.
And Mr. Renault.
Subject to our prior objection regarding bifurcation, we agree to the court's language. I'd also, before the jury comes in, like to raise the additional issue, which is we've objected to the introduction of evidence that isn't relevant to actual damages. And so I would ask the court, so as not to interrupt Mr. Bankston, to give me a running objection during his opening when he's discussing evidence that goes to the amount of punitive.
Oh my, I love how they're actual damages. So in this case, we're determining what damages Alex Jones has done to the plaintiffs. But the whole while, the United States government gets to sit here and behave like it's damageless.
Rather than the amount of actual damages.
Right, so your objection is overruled. You may have a running objection. The only evidence that we are reserving is net worth.
Thank you.
All right, are we ready then?
Your Honor, the other thing
Is what? This audio sucks.
Is overruled. You may have a running objection. The only evidence that we are reserving is net worth.
Thank you.
All right, are we ready then?
Your
Network.
Honor, the other thing is I was going to offer the agreed exhibit 31 to have the
Oh.
full start.
Okay. Are all of the exhibits that have been admitted up here for use by witnesses and attorneys as we go through this?
Correct. Well, we'll have copies. Yes, we have them here in the courtroom, and then you have your, you have a set as well, and then we have multiple sets.
All right.
We'll have one set which is witness for recording.
So plaintiffs 31 index of defendant's video discovery production produced November 7th, 2019, or
This
has a
actually-
new name?
This actually becomes, what would you like to call it, a group list of videos.
All right.
And Mr. Bankston has also, we have agreed that to the extent they haven't already been admitted, every video on this list will be admitted with no objection from the party.
Yes, we believe they're already admitted, but
Can I have a copy?
absolutely.
Thank you. This is mine.
Yes, it is.
All right.
And then I was going to give one to Mr.
Yes,
Boswell.
please.
And that's all from the
All right, then I'm going to tell Ms. Maddox-Field that we're ready. It'll take a little bit longer than normal to bring the jury in because I have them in a different space and they have to walk around.
How ridiculous.
Hope everybody found parking.
Oh my god. What?
In case you don't know, you can rise for the jury.
The audacity of them to prosecute this case and act like it's not the fucking fault of the government for being a lying piece of shit government is absurd. It's absurd.
Rise. For 59 District 40 Trial Extension, the Honorable Judge Maya Gamble presiding.
And the jury can sit down when you reach your seat, but make sure there's one more we're gonna need there.
I really don't know if I'm not sure if Alex Jones is not. Hey, what's up, mate? I'm getting a little tilted on Twitter. I feel like a lot of people are like puffing their chest on Sandy Hook, and I'm like, are you guys sure that shit happened yet? Where's the evidence? What's so I'm looking around like, where's the new evidence? Just because Alex Jones says he accepts 100% that it happened doesn't mean it plays whatsoever into my own opinion. Like, I don't give a shit what Alex Jones has to say, especially when I'm finding all this stuff like Jeffrey Epstein, Mossad. Like, this has been coming out in the news recently. I really didn't think too much on the concept that he might be like an agent. But now that it's like becoming part of the news, I'm like, oh, maybe he really was like an agent for these governments doing these things to like stage and incriminate people so that they could be easily manipulated. And that was really what was going on there. And then I'm watching this fucking, where'd it go? The Alex Jones thing. Like, well, even if he says it happened, maybe it did happen. I don't know. I'm not so completely sold that it happened, or that it didn't happen, that I am unwilling to bend on previous conclusions. However, I have seen strong evidence that it did not happen. And so, because Alex Jones is just now saying it happened, is a little suspect. Videos of everyone? Yeah. So it's almost like he might be an agent. He might be CIA. People have mentioned that in the past. That idea has come across. And I kind of just like continue to listen to him as a source of information. Never people like to even. It's weird he got associated with Sandy Hook too. So anyone who like denies Sandy Hook happened is now like an Alex Jones specifically supporter, and like therefore thinks like Alex Jones is some fucking manipulative shit going on. Yeah, I mean, he could be an agent. That's what I'm wondering. Like, people have suggested it. I mean, if he is, what's going on? Is it like, or he's just literally, my thoughts are he's overwhelmed and he's just like admitting defeat to like get this shit over with because he's fucking tired of being just bombarded because of this Sandy Hook thing. I mean, they've had years to prepare a case against him too, which is bullshit. This took how long? When did Sandy Hook happen? Why the fuck is this happening right now? December. 10 years to prosecute someone for talking about the conspiracy that immediately emerged because it was a fucking sham. This 75 million per person. There's a fuck. That's why I want to watch this. So that's why I want to literally watch day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. I need fucking. I just had an interview. At some point in the interview, I was like, anyway, I have a medical marijuana card. I'm not even sure why I'm here. There's no way I'm gonna pass the drug test. And he was like, "Oh, that doesn't even matter. Actually, that's fine." I was like, "Oh, well, fuck, dude. I honestly, this whole, but then like, I don't think he's gonna hire me. I think I said some offensive shit. I gotta be careful. Sometimes my ego pops out in ways that I don't understand. Where I was like, I know." I said something like just a warehouse. Like, it's just warehouse or something like that. Some kind of phrasing that makes it like the job that he in fact has and does in his career is just anything. Some like language where I know I can tell there was some subtlety picked up on where like, we're not gonna get along, and it really comes down to like human nature then. Like, what the fuck?
That blue chair, I think you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, is this real? It was pretty much just it was the phrase "just a warehouse" or "just a warehouse" or something to like belittle and demean the job, and even just the slightest of ways where I was already on the fence because I didn't have any experience. And then he's like, "Well, we're looking for experience." So I was like, okay, fine. And then he's like, "Well, the physical stuff is fine, but it's really the mental stuff and the arranging." I'm like, I am an engineer. He just didn't seem very compelled to hire me. Also, it sounded seasonal, which I don't think was even written on the job application. I was under the impression it was pretty much going forward until I decided to quit or they fired me. So, that's that, but now my cash is still dwindling down. Let's see. Let's actually fucking see. Oh, I'd like to enroll in everything. Oh my god. Okay, transfer. Down to my last 400, and I got like probably 200 in cash. Fucking A. I don't know what to do anymore. I was kind of assuming that I wouldn't be able to get the job because of drugs. Now I'm a little sad that I don't think I will get the job, even though that wasn't the limiting factor. Start selling drugs. Drive to Michigan. That's 300. Greater than cancel. Oh, wait, how much do I have in there? How is 300 greater than 300? That doesn't make fucking... Did I put 3,000? I don't fucking know. How is that greater than my 320? That doesn't even make fucking sense. Unless it requires me to have like $100 or $50. I don't know, man. I just have no money. I'm in this position where I'm just like puffing out like a flame that's like got no more fuel. I don't know what to do. Keep applying to jobs, work at like 7-Eleven or something. I gotta fucking do shit like that, I guess. I just don't want to. It would be a very intense experience for me, but it might help in the long term if I just like did it. Like sit behind a fucking checkout. Hey, welcome to 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone can just move down the lines, or almost everyone can move down.
What in the fuck? Wonder if I could log into my E-Trade.
Me, I'll be seated.
Let's see if I got like $50 in there or something. It might be like a few pennies sitting around. Yeah, I just don't know how to even go about doing stuff like that. And finding the thing is, I gotta find someone. I'm almost like a demon, a dark fucking like scary. No one wants to help me. No one wants to help me. It's really no one wants. When they look at me, they're just like, I don't know what it is, but I don't want to help him. That's like how people react to me. I don't know. It's like, am I like fucking dark energy? Like I see like a void or something. I don't know. It's my behavior. I'm like I know, but I just have been so in need of help that I'm just like fucking. It's not. That doesn't seem part of my cards. Like, it's pretty much like it seems to me that I need to get to know people, but to get to know everyone, I pretty much need everyone to participate. So it's almost impossible. So I kind of just went about it like almost without any effort to get to know anyone because I've been so preoccupied to a point where it's certainly concerning to people. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Why am I gonna you want me to follow you when to do whatever the fuck? Especially when I start talking, it's like, what in the fuck? Yeah, I got 4 views. That's pretty exciting. Oh, Dorka's getting some action. I think they're almost always the Dwarka video. Or Dwarka podcast. just like the last 5 episodes. Oh. Yeah, it's way better than the others. Is this literally my last episode? I don't even fucking know. I recorded one. The problem is I'm like fucking hacking. And I should probably listen to it and see if it's tolerable. It's only like an hour. I had to repeatedly pause because my smoking a spliff and trying to talk doesn't work well. I really want to smoke a spliff and do my podcast, but it's hard to do both. Sometimes I'm just like, bleh. It just makes me cough like real bad. To the point where I'm like, okay, I gotta pause this. And then there's this like, I'm like, shit, man, what are people gonna think given what's like what I'm trying to do here? Like the ramifications of little things like that. I don't even know. So I didn't post it because it seemed a little too that. It's just frequently like time and again where I'm just not even trying to not do it. I'm just but trying to avoid like trying to not do it, but not trying to not do it so much as to stop smoking and just talk. Like I could just talk and smoke later, but I gotta smoke now. Well, I burned through all my cash pretty literally now because I smoked it all. What was I doing? Alex Jones CIA. Let's see. Yeah. Yelp. Oh. Yeah. Oh, my fucking ear. Sometimes I sleep on my right ear, and oh my god, the whole fucking next day, it's like I have a broken bone or something. I don't know. Like squish some muscle. Oh my god, it's so painful. What the fuck? If I sleep on my left ear, it will do it, but it won't do it nearly like it does on my right ear. If I ever sleep on my right ear, the whole next day is fucking... Like, what in the fuck? I'm just getting old at 30s. What the fuck? Okay, where the fuck do I start talking? Here we go. I was thinking about literally reacting to this. Like, I'm recording right now. But like doing a reaction video to like all of it. Recording it all. Watching the whole trial. Being like, I'm still here. Unless they drop some fucking truth. I don't think that happened though. What I think is he just basically said, he admitted that he was wrong, or he believes now that he was mistaken, basically. So he's concurring that it happened, seemingly. I mean, because of pressures, like, I don't know, do they show the evidence that makes, like, people who watched videos, saw those videos get just fucking removed time and again, and watch things, not just Sandy Hook, but thing after thing, get fucking censorship. obvious lies? Like, do they address those things, or do they just fucking sweep it under the rug and say, well, because he concurred, we don't really need evidence, we can just do it. It's literally like a modern day witch trial. Like, oh my god. And now, because I feel, because I've spoken up about Sandy Hook, be like, dudes, that my defense and people who saw me do that are gonna like hold it against me now and be like, he's that much more certainly wrong and mistaken and of a problem in my perception, because that's what people do, and it really fucking pisses me off, honestly. So I really need to watch this to really see what the fuck basis, other than some fucking claims and someone agreeing. I don't give a shit if he agreed. I don't give a shit. I wish I could be there. Can I go there? Maybe I could walk in and be like, Alex, you know your First Amendment protects you from all this, right?
There's one all the way at the end. In the future, let's fill all that.
I almost want to go on trial like this just so I can use my defense in front of the world. But I gotta get in Alex Jones's position, where people even notice that I exist and then want to fucking do some shit like this, rather than kill me like the odds are. I don't know.
All right. Good morning. Under the rules, the attorneys for both sides are permitted to make their opening statements, which shall consist of a brief statement of the nature of the case that the party expects to prove in the relief sought. Because of the unusual status of this case, I'm going to read a statement similar to the one I read to you yesterday morning. This is information from the court. Plaintiffs Neil Heslin and Scarlett Lewis, the parents of one of the children murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary School, have sued Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, LLC, for defamation and intention.
It really shows, though, that, like, the problem is the fucking system. Sandy Hook parents suing Alex Jones. Because he made their life a living hell. It's really not anyone's fault for doubting the fucking narrative. When we got liars lying, just pathologically lying liars. Like, even if this happened, is really on the fucking liars.
Infliction of emotional distress caused by public statements made by Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, LLC.
You just gotta take it up the chain, put the responsibility where it truly lies, which is these fucking trash systems that we've allowed to just abuse us. They literally fucking abuse us.
You are not here to determine if Mr. Jones and Free Speech Systems
Look at this shit.
defamed or intentionally
I'd be flipping tables by now. Like, get the fuck on with it.
inflicted emotional distress on Mr. Heslin or Mr. Lewis. The court has already found that they have committed these acts. The jury's job will be to determine what sum of money, if any, the case, the jury
punishment
would hear
for their
all of the
conduct.
evidence on damages. In this case, some of the evidence will be presented after you decide compensatory damages and will be followed by a second charge of the court. Just so you understand what's going on. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, we always begin with the plaintiff. So, Mr. Bankston, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Bankston, and I'm here to talk to you about two rules first.
Some rules
Well, we
first.
would if we were clicking, wouldn't we?
Uh-oh.
Did he say some rules first?
Let's see if we can get that going.
Just goes to show the order of operations around these parts.
Not a problem, Your Honor. Okay, good, thank you. Like I said, Mark Bankston. I first want to talk to you about two rules. Here's the first rule. You can't recklessly tell lies about someone. Can't do it. If you do it, and you cause someone damage, you're responsible.
These people have no idea what they're even saying. Oh my god. Literally propagating lies. You can't tell lies. What the fuck, man?
This is the second rule. You can't recklessly tell lies about something important to someone. In this case, like the death of their child. If you do that, you know you're going to cause them harm. You're responsible for that. You're here.
Oh my god. The rules were broken. This is a joke. This is a joke. Oh my god. Fucking Banana Republic. You're here because those rules were broken.
Because those rules are broken. And they were broken in a way in which the world has never seen before. But before we get into that story, you're going to need to understand two things. Who is Alex Jones? What is InfoWars?
Before we get into that, you're gonna oh my god, I really should fucking do a full-blown reaction of this. Because I really could address the bullshit of the legal system. He's already gonna show it. It's really gonna expose. I think it would expose how bullshit it is. Who is Alex Jones? What is InfoWars? So they're gonna just like approximate some picture that's in their best interest, and then go forward, because that's enough. That's all we need to know is enough.
This is Alex Jones and InfoWars. Alex Jones is one of the country's most popular and most influential media personalities. InfoWars is one of the nation's most popular and widely watched media networks. Now, some of you may be forgiven for not knowing about Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I mean, after all, we did censor the living fuck out of the dude. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly don't know if anyone else been like as rigorously censored as that dude. There's very few people on his level of censorship that he has experienced. You're right, you would be forgiven to not hear of someone who's experienced ridiculous quantities of censorship. Come on.
That InfoWars is one of our widely watched news networks. And the reason is because we now live in a world of bubbles. We now live in a world where we all watch different things. We don't all just turn on the news on one of the three
Because they're fucking liars, dude.
major networks and watch it back in like the 1950s. We now live in a world where significant parts of this country get their information from things that other parts of the country would never even see. And over the last decade, Mr. Jones has become incredibly influential. a segment of this country. And the thing about Mr. Jones' business is it doesn't quite operate like most media businesses do. Right? Most media businesses are a bit different than Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones started on radio. Right? That's where he became a big star. But Mr. Jones is one of the first people in this country, of media people, to understand the internet.
Why in the fuck is the plaintiff daring to have the audacity to define Alex Jones to these other people, to the jurors? Like, what in the fuck is this? I'd be fucking objection, Your Honor. This motherfucker don't know me. Objection, Your Honor. This motherfucker don't know me.
Internet. And what it could do.
Ridiculous.
And long before most major media organizations even made their first steps into the internet, in the very early days of the 2000s, Mr. Jones was on the internet. And as a result, he has these radio shows, a live broadcast nearly every day. He has an internet website, Infowars.com, where you can view videos, news articles. And he has a YouTube site, or at least he did until very recently, where he got billions of views on that page. The other thing that's different about Mr. Jones's business is that most media businesses make their money through advertising. And you're going to hear from the evidence in this case that Mr. Jones makes a little money that way. That's how they operate. But the main way that this business operates affects the news they cover. Because what they really do, the primary way the business operates is to sell products. As you see here on the screen, in Exhibit 15. This is another example.
Oh my god, the fucking ridiculousness. This dude doesn't even understand that you need money to operate in the world, so you gotta fucking sell some shit. Yeah, maybe he didn't make the best choices on selling what shit, but heck, come the fuck on, dude. God, the government is fucking ridiculous.
Example that you'll see in the sidebar of the articles you'll see in this case. Here's a product called DNA Force. It claims it's going to overhaul your body's cellular engines and protect them from reactive oxygen species. Now, these kinds of products dictate the kind of news that has to be told on InfoWars, because you want to try to attract the audience that will buy these products. So that's what Mr. Jones did. His programming is...
Oh my god. Oh my god, he's basically claiming that it was all a charade, and all of it was a lie, and all of it was to attract people who would buy these products.
very fantastical in some respects. In some respects, it's convinced you that powerful, shadowy forces in the world are out to get all of us and have put a cloak over reality.
That's nice, it's on sale. That shit's on sale. That's nice of them to advertise for him. On sale here.
Jones is going to take that cloak off and show you the real truth. That's what his media network's about. And for the past 10 years or so, Mr. Jones has become very influential. He has gained a position in media maybe unlike any other media figure in this country. And when he did that, 10 years ago, in 2012, when his popularity was truly exploding, Mr. Jones made a choice. And he made that choice. There we go. Made that choice on December 14th, 2012.
Oh my god, what a
That was the day
terrible
of the San Diego
decision.
elementary school shooting.
Oh, what a tragedy
Really,
that
one
he
of the
would
darkest
make a
days
decision to not fucking believe you.
You gotta think back to 2012 when this happened. We've never seen anything.
Oh, it's sad, man. If this shit happened, it is sad. That's the sad truth, though, is the government lies so much that people can't even have empathy because the government fucking lies so much that if this really happened, then these parents are like, why? Why does no one feel? 'Cause the government's a lying piece of shit. I don't know, dude. Maybe open your eyes a little.
I mean, the idea of someone coming in and slaughtering first graders, we were all of us, in like a collective state of shock over this.
Oh my god.
But not Mr. Jones.
No. He makes it like Mr. Jones was the only one. That's a poor defense, dude. Poor defense, because he was not the only one.
Mr. Jones made a choice that day. Mr. Jones decided he was going to go on the air that day with the title of the video. And that video was called Connecticut School Massacre. Looks like false flag.
And it fucking did, bro.
Now, what's a false flag? It's interesting, it's an older term. It's a naval term from 17th, 16th century. And what it means is, let's say you were a Spanish ship.
Oh my
And you wanted
god.
to attack a French ship, but you didn't want to get Spain in trouble. Well, what you could do is you could put up a British flag on your ship. You could fly a false flag. That's what that meant. So that you could attack the French ship without getting Spain in trouble. That's where the term comes from. But in the modern sense, in Mr. Jones's world, false flag now means something very different.
Oh my
False
god.
flag is when a mass tragedy, shooting, or bombing was actually staged by the United States government, and particularly the Central Intelligence. That's fake. Didn't happen. I want to show you
Oh my god.
Mr. Jones on the day of Sandy Hook. As news was
These
coming in of Sandy Hook,
motherfuckers.
on his broadcast, he called Connecticut
December. That was the Mayan calendar time frame, wasn't it? December 2012, like around there.
School Massacre looks like false flag, says witnesses. And you'll see that Mr. Jones is talking to somebody who has a relative in Newtown. And he's trying to coax out the information to prove that this was a false flag. Let's take a look at that clip.
I said, this is the attack. Look, people got to find the clips the last 2 months. I said they are launching attacks. They're getting ready. I can see them warming up with Obama. They've got a bigger majority in the Congress now and the Senate. They are going to come after our guns. Look for mass
Fucking
shootings.
facial
And then magically
expression.
it happens. They are coming. They are coming. They are coming.
Oh my
That's what
god.
you see when Mr. Jones says
Oh my god. They're fucking coming. Oh, that's crazy shit. What if this is all they're trying to like let us know through the exposure shit he says here, like, oh.
magically it happened. That's sarcasm. Mr. Jones means that it was planned, that it was all staged. That's what he's talking about. And over the next couple of weeks, you will see in this case of the broadcast in 2012, that December, Mr. Jones continually was churning this idea that Sandy Hook was fake. By just 1 month after the shooting, Alex Jones, who would become patient zero for the Sandy Hook hoax, he had created a sensation. And by a month later, he had aired an entire episode
dude,
entitled,
every
"Why
fucking
People
shooting
Think
is
Sandy Hook
questioned
is a hoax."
fucking rigorously, you noob.
And for some of you, I think, and it hit me,
Fucking noobs. We don't even understand everything is questioned because we don't fucking trust the government. And just like that, this one thing was brought into question and nothing else ever. But oh, what a tragedy. Now it's confusing things because he questioned it. No, everything gets questioned, dude.
right at the beginning, is why? Why is he doing this?
Fucking noobs.
It's about guns. Mr.
It's
Jones
about
knew
guns. It's about guns. I mean, plausible that guns certainly play into his thought pattern.
His audience were worried about guns. Maybe even rightly, they were worried about.
I know, right? The thing is, they're gonna start a world war, and and then hide the evidence of all the deaths of the vaccinations through monkeypox and various things. Look at this shit, dude. Cases, New York City. Outside of New York City are not included. Total cases as of 6 hours ago, 1558 in New York City, where the entire United States has 6,600. Coupled with, I really fucking think he did it, dude. There's some shit to this. I posted it recently. That water, New York City tab there. This thing.
Hey, tap into good health. I never head out without my New York City tap water. Hot outside. I urge every New Yorker to drink up. Tap water is the best.
What did I reply that to? Did you see the UN trying to crack down on conspiracy theories? What did they say? Conspiracy theories. What are they? Why do they flourish? Be warned. Oh my god, it's fucking down here it says conspiracy theories have these 6 things in common. They falsely suggest that nothing happens by accident and that there are no coincidences. No coincidences. Nothing is as it appears and everything is connected. They literally deny the interconnectedness of everything. Like, as part of their denial of conspiracy theories, they attach the concept of interconnectedness of things to conspiracy theories. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, what? Oh my god, these fucking idiots. They're so deluded. Other me's and other lives. I'm deluded in my own ways, but they're fucking deluded in their ways too. So I guess we're all equally deluded, maybe. If I'm as deluded as they are, that's real sad for me, because I don't feel that deluded. I feel more like sensical. Like, I'm like, okay, I see that we're all confused here. Maybe I should be more careful-minded in my reasoning and not believe anyone else. But simply be careful-minded and careful in my reasoning. That seems reasonable. That makes sense to me. I mean, I see some shit going down where people are fucking crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay.
Well, people wanted to own AR-15s. Maybe there were going to be some new registration checks, or maybe they were going to ban the AR-15. Right? That's people that had that wording. But
You realize they're fucking banning things as you speak, dude. Oh my god. The fucking ignorance. No offense. Like, as they fucking speak. Oh my god, what are they doing? Trying to reduce the ammo to like fucking 9mm millimeters. They're not coming after guns at all. There's not dudes at the ATF knocking on doors looking for the guns you purchased. No. We're all obeying the law here. Don't you notice how the rules are the first thing we talk about? Are rules. Literally not even law. The dude is a lawyer. His focus is on rules. I think he's a ruler then. But not like a ruler, but like a measuring stick ruler maybe. Okay, I'll be back.
played on that fear. He knew it. He knew they felt it. And so here's what he did. Jones told his audience that Obama was coming for their guns. So he told his audience that Obama stayed safe. And not that Obama ordered the murder of those children. But that there were never any children at all. That the school was fake. That it wasn't an operating school. That the parents were liars, paid actors.
Your Honor?
No?
Well, Your Honor, ordered that all demonstrative exhibits be shared with the other side before, and this PowerPoint was not. So,
These are words that he's saying, overruled.
okay.
And yeah, I've shared all the images in this.
These are words that he said. No, they weren't. They were fucking paraphrases. That the parents were liars. He never could have possibly said those words. He would have said the parents are liars. Fucking paraphrasing. And then she says overruled. That's fucking bullshit. Why, thank you.
Let's go back. Mr. Jones said that the school was fake. And it wasn't an operating school. He said that the parents were liars, paid actors.
I cannot believe this approximation is occurring.
He said the funerals were fake. Their tears were fake. Everything was fake. So that Mr. Jones could have this story on his broadcast. This was a massive campaign of lies. That's what the evidence is going to show. And in fact, it is difficult to wrap your head around it. We have brought for you, we're going to be showing you in this trial, dozens of videos. 44, I believe. We're going to try to show you before it's all over. And we can't show you all of them, and I'm going to tell you why. If we were to sit down and try to watch all the videos that we have about San Diego, if I just put them on and let's play them and let you watch them, and we're going to spend the rest of this week doing it, we couldn't do it. Would not have enough time for you to sit here every single day and watch it. So I'm going to have to show you what I can. I'm going to respect your time on that. And we're going to be showing you clips from over years and years and years, and we're going to try to give you the full breadth of what happened. And the other problem we face is we don't even have
Years.
We know.
Years. You mean you're not going to focus on the event itself whatsoever? You're going to focus on everything that happened afterwards, where really the event itself is even the question of this trial.
Know there's more out there. You're going to hear testimony about that. You're going to hear expert witnesses talk about it. We don't have it all. We can only show you what we do have. Right? That no one really even knows
They better have some persuasive fucking evidence.
how massive this was. Because some of that is lost to the sands of time. But this was done. This massive campaign of lies was accomplished because Mr. Jones recruited wild extremists from fringes of the internet who were willing to be as cruel as Mr. Jones needed them to be. The first one of these is a man named Wolfgang Halbig. You're going to hear a lot about this man during
Wild extremists.
this trial. Wolfgang Halbig, you will hear, was a former Florida State trooper.
Oh my god, if you just listen to the government, it almost sounds like it makes sense. That's the crazy thing. Is like, it does kind of make sense at first glance how they behave. Where they're like, well, you know, plaintiff was offended and this therefore led to this and lots of problems. You know, not to downplay. If it really did happen, I'm still kind of behaving like I don't believe them. And like this is still bullshit. But maybe I'm mistaken on this one. I've seen enough evidence to doubt every shooting practically. So, I don't know.
And then apparently he started some sort of security business. And Mr. Halbig was on InfoWars all the time. They just had him on over and over and over. Because Mr. Jones needed somebody who could pretend like they were going to support what he was saying. And Mr. Halbig was willing to do that for attention. I want to show you.
Objection, Your Honor. He was willing to do that for attention. He said. That is not a fact. This is bullshit. Trash, dude.
Of the many, many times that Mr. Halbig was on, let's first watch this first clip from September 25th, 2014, in an episode entitled Connecticut PD has FBI falsify crime statistics. All right, and what you're going to see in this video is Mr. Jones describing Mr. Halbig, and then I want you to pay attention because you're going to see something very strange. You're going to see Mr. Jones do mocking imitations of the parents crying to try to save
Oh
them.
my god.
You're going to see
So strange. It's almost like he doesn't believe a word the government or media says. How unbelievable that such a person could exist, since I believe everything the government says. Of course, that's they're being unreasonable and
see Mr. Jones say that there are photos of their children that prove that they're still alive, that they faked their deaths. Let's take a look at what Mr. Jones said.
We're fearless, folks. Support us. Support Wolfgang. This is not a game. They are hopping mad. We're covering this. CNN admits they did fake Scud attacks on themselves back in 1991, 1990. Would they stage this? I don't know. Do penguins live in Antarctica? Wolfgang W. Halbig's our guest, former state police officer and worked for the Customs Department, and then over the last decades created one of the biggest, most successful school safety training groups, and he just has gone and investigated, and it's as funny as a $3 bill, and they've been... But man, Wolfgang, you dropped a bombshell of your scores of points, your 16 questions. If you've got a school of 100 kids, and then nobody can find them, and then you've got parents laughing on, and then they walk over to the camera and go, and not just one, but a bunch of parents doing this, and then photos of kids that are still alive, they said died. I mean, they think we're so dumb that it's really hidden in plain view. And so the preponderance, I thought they had some scripting early on to exacerbate and milk the crisis, as Rahm Emanuel said. But when you really look at it, where are the lawsuits? There would be incredible lawsuits and payouts, but there haven't been any filed, nothing. I've never seen this. This is incredible.
That's Mr. Halbig you're seeing on the screen right there.
they're coming for him. That's where the lawsuits are. He's trying to fucking hide the truth. Gotta go for Jones.
Halbig will come on the show and we'll do interviews, and we'll see some from Mr. Halbig too. We're going to see some videos of him talking. But that's the guy that he would be bringing on these shows to talk about this over and over and over and over again. The following day, they published this article on Infowars.com. This article reads, FBI says no one killed at Sandy. Now,
They fucking
I'll
did
just make this
too.
clear. Everyone now agrees. You're going to hear
They did.
testimony from the author of this article. This is obviously wrong. You're going to hear, he didn't read the chart right, he just didn't scroll down. And they went with this and put it up.
I really don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure that they did not. And they updated it, and he's talking out his ass about an updated one. They're just putting pressure on these people and coercing them. This is not trustworthy.
Out to their audience. And the important thing about this is this story was InfoWars' third most popular story ever. This was a viral sensation. Millions and millions of people saw this article. You're going to see the data on it. And when Mr. Jones realized the explosive popularity of these kinds of things, he doubled down. You gotta remember, we're 2 years out from Sandy Hook.
He
No
doubled
network is-
Alex Jones's fucking reaction was like, shit, yeah, I did kind of double down, you right?
Explosive popularity of these kinds of things, he doubled down. You gotta remember, we're 2 years out from Sandy Hook. No network is covering Sandy Hook anymore. Mr. Jones, though, saw how this was doing with his audience.
He also fucking truly did not believe. That's the fucking issue here, is he's being blamed for not believing the government's narrative when they're fucking liars. Sorry, the information is foggy when it comes from people who speak truths and fucking lies intermixed so that the lies can sneak through. Fucking assholes. The bullshit to fucking blame him. It's really not his fault.
It became an obsession at InfoWars. You're going to see that there are parts of Mr. Jones' show. You know, he has his live show, and he has these internet videos he puts up, and he also has, he does a radio show. So he has call-in guests sometimes, or call-in listeners, who will call in and talk about things with Mr. Jones. And they were eating the Sandy Hook stuff up with a spoon, and Mr. Jones kept inflaming it. Here's an example from December 29th, 2014. This was called America, the False Democracy. In this clip, you are going to hear Mr. Jones say that these children did not die. Sandy Hook is 100% fake.
Let's talk to Kevin. Kevin, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, I was calling about Sandy Hook. Basically, my take on it is I live about 50 miles from Newtown, and the whole thing is pretty much the next step in reality TV. Because with other false flags like 9/11 or Oklahoma City or the Boston bombing, at least something happened. With Sandy Hook, there's no there. You've got a bunch of people walking around a parking lot, pretty much what it comes down to, and none of the evidence.
No, I've had the investigators on. I've had the state police have gone public. You name it. The whole thing is a giant hoax. And the problem is, how do you deal with a total hoax? I mean, it's just, how do you even convince the public something's a total hoax?
Very hard because, anytime I talk about this issue with people, you get criticized, blackballed, ridiculed, called every name in the book, or they respond with the
Good question, Alex. It's a good question.
magic words. They were saying on TV, there's no statement more proof positive of somebody who's been brainwashed by that stuff, mainstream media, than those words. They were saying on TV. Well, I always tell people the same thing. Go out and prove the official story. And I knew the millisecond this happened with that now fake picture of the kids being let out of school, that there's nothing that's going to sell this agenda like dead elementary school kids. No.
That's right. The general public doesn't know the school was actually closed the year before. They don't know they've shielded all, demolished the building. They don't know that they had the kids going in circles in and out of the building as a photo op. Blue screen, green screens they got caught using. I mean, the whole thing. But remember, this is the same White House that's been caught running the fake Bin Laden raid that's come out and been faked. It's the same White House that got caught running all these other fake events over and over again. And it's the same White House that says, I never said that you could keep your doctor, when he did say you keep your doctor. People just instinctively know that there's a lot of fraud going on. But it took me about a year with Sandy Hook to come to grips with the fact that the whole thing was fake. I mean, even I couldn't believe it. I knew they jumped on it, used the crisis, hyped it up, but then I did deep research, and my gosh, it just pretty much didn't happen.
This kept up into 2015. The next part of our story. You'll see here another one of these.
This is fucking despicable. The fucking body language. Is this for real? Like, if this is all genuinely happening, that's the problem. Is I'm watching this from a position of being me, where I'm like, there's more to it from my specific angle. So I'm like personally analyzing it in ways that are making me think, well, maybe this is all just because I haven't accepted things, and they're behaving this way. Like he's behaving, all his body language is like, what's the word? Like amplified, made more noticeable, to kind of point out how ridiculous my thoughts are, to not recognize that, oh, while this is all happening, it really is just a show and everyone's aware of what's going on. And so, but then I'm like, well, maybe that's not what's happening, though. I don't think like that's not what's happening. Like, people are having their actual lives. This dude is actually, this me in his life, me in his life, being him. I'm actually fucking doing the struts, cause I actually am like, yeah.
Call-in segments in an episode on January 13th, 2015. It was called Why We Accept Government Lies. Same kind of format here, except now Mr. Jones is starting to add new stuff. One of the things you'll hear in this video is that now Mr. Jones...
It's crazy that this was while my research was happening, that Sandy Hook became like inflamed in focus as the most blatant, questionable shooting.
saying that there were photos of a child at Sandy Hook that were used to stage a fake mass shooting in Pakistan. All right? It's confusing, but we'll get into it. I want you to take a look at this video from January 13th, 2015.
To me, yeah, when you're trying to decide.
Approximation again, they're just picking and choosing. This is fucking slander.
For cloak and dagger, dirty tricks, it's pretty hard to do. It's just that when you learn that they were funded by Western funding, then you learn that it was the same Amarillo Lockheed Connection underwear bomber. Then those are big red flags that they were patsy provocateurs. The classic MO has been followed. And then, yeah, it kind of becomes a red herring, to say the whole thing was staged. Because they have staged events before. But then you learn the school had been closed and reopened, and you got video of the kids going in circles in and out of the building, and they don't call the rescue choppers for 2 hours, and then they tear the building down and seal it, and they get caught using blue screens, and a email by Bloomberg comes out in the lawsuit where he's telling his people, get ready in the next 24 hours to capitalize on a shooting. So Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And
I'll be right back.
All right. Well, let me start to eat. You wanna start dinner so we can eat? Papa Bear's hungry. I don't want Papa.
Baby bear's hungry too.
Yeah, I don't want Papa Bear or Baby Bear being too hungry, because then they roar. Your mother is weird, Steven. She's so weird.
Steven, did you know that?
What, that she's weird?
Well, just wash yourself out. That's not fixing dinner.
Yeah, that's why I fixed dinner. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, we all gotta wait to eat.
it just shows how in a fake mass shooting in Turkey. So, yeah, or Pakistan. The sky is now the limit. I appreciate your call.
Shortly after this, InfoWars got its first YouTube strike. This means somebody made a complaint against the channel. In this case, it was a father of a victim. It was a father who had complained to InfoWars because their son's photo was used in one of their videos. It was this whole thing about the Pakistan shooting, and we'll get into that. It's not important now. It's obviously a lie. But when they used the son's picture, they complained.
Obviously a lie. Excuse me, dude. That's fucking irritating. How is he not objecting? What a trash lawyer. This is a sham. Are they just that bad at law? Just let him get away with making fucking obvious claims. Obviously a lie. Can't just move on from that, dude. Objection.
For copyright reasons. That's how they figure they can stop it.
You don't say that shit and move on from it. Now you're gonna get them thinking after the rest of this time, and it's all bullshit. You didn't fucking prove a fucking thing yet. You can't move on from it. Let's go back. Objection. Sorry. Take it back then. You can bring that Pakistan thing back up when you fucking bring the evidence in. Oh my god. Trash lawyers. Just let it happen. Like, no fucking... They got roar. Like, what the fuck are they doing? They gotta let this dude know he doesn't get away with just claiming shit in the middle of this conversation.
So YouTube issued him a strike. But InfoWars smartened up after this.
Because it's not a conversation. He's talking to a fucking jury.
They realized don't use pictures of children. That's what you're going to see. So from this point forward, you'll see Mr. Jones react about this and say, this is, unjust to me.
Yeah, dude. It is unjust, bro. Fucking cunts.
I'm going to keep doing it. And it did. It kept up. Mr. Jones had Mr. Halbig all through 2015. And you'll see on March 4th, 2015, in this video.
I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see the actual evidence this dude presents. It's just gonna be fucking bullshit, just like it has been so far. Nothing conclusive. We need conclusiveness if this is gonna be something to reshape my worldview. Cause bullshit.
Bombshell, Sandy Hook information, and
Cause I still don't fucking believe them. So they gotta reshape my worldview. So it better be some fucking worldview reshaping evidence, not claims, not bullshit. Where's the fucking evidence? This is how this world functions, and that's why no one listens to me, because everyone's so focused on the claims. They're like, the claims he makes clearly could not be, so I want to look at the evidence.
Now, before we look at this video, I want to talk about, you've heard some of them already. Mr. Jones is going to keep repeating these same false claims. He's not quite...
This whole fucking trial is a sham because it can't even be checked because they fucking erased it from the internet. Might as well say, well, I don't have none of that's on the internet anymore, so what are you talking about? Where's this line of fault where all the responsibility falls on the individual? That's some bullshit. He better be a CIA agent or this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit if he's not.
questioning anything. You gotta make sure there's a big difference here. He's not questioning. He's not going, something fishy might be going on in Sandy Hook. These aren't questions. He's just stating facts falsely. And here they are. You'll hear.
Welcome to the real world, dude, where that's how we live. Everything we think we know as facts are fucking false. So if you want to bring people to court for stating falsities, I mean, better fucking get ready to get your shit stripped away and be just in poverty, because that's the real world.
About Anderson Cooper on a blue screen. You might know about blue screen from like Marvel movies. This is how they composite somebody into something. The argument here is that Anderson Cooper of CNN did an interview with a parent in Newtown, and they weren't really in Newtown. They were really on a CNN studio in Atlanta, and they faked it and made it look like Anderson Cooper was there with the parent. These people weren't even at San Diego. It's a lie. You're going to see it's a lie.
He already fucking was calling it a lie. Dude, where is this? Look at this fucking lawyer. He's just letting him talk. What the fuck? Bro. And look at his face. It's a lie. We're gonna see it's a lie. Because we determined it's a lie. Now we're gonna state facts, false facts as truths.
It's just an obvious lie. You're going to hear them talking about kids walking in circles, going around the building, doing drills. And you're going to see the video he's talking about in his videos. He's going to play it. And what's most astonishing is the video he's showing, the building in the video, isn't even the Sandy Hook school. He's lied to his viewers. It's a firehouse in Newtown, and you're going to see that this video is hours later in the day when parents are showing up to pick up their kids, find out what happened. And there's a group of adults and teenagers and all walking around the building to get to the front of the building. And Mr. Jones tried to sell this to his audience to say that this was fake. It shows it was the children were actually being let out of the front of the building and then back into the building. And he'll say, well, you should be getting them away from the building. It's not even Sandy Hook.
Intense.
He's going to talk about men in SWAT gear caught in the woods. But you're going to see video that proves that they actually knew that the video they're talking about, this helicopter footage, was taken well into the afternoon, hours after the shooting, had nothing to do with the shooting, and you're going to find out it's some reporters who tried to get too close to the school, take pictures. It's all in the police reports, it's all public, but he tried to convince his viewers that these were CIA operatives or whatever, in SWAT gear to facilitate the shooting or something. Whatever false thing he thought was
Or something. You're the one fucking describing. Oh my god. This is tyranny, dude.
Let's talk about how the school was actually closed. It was not an operating school. That they just opened it up for this.
I wonder if he's gonna point out the dude who was like a doctor here and a mortician or something. He had like 2 jobs. He was at two different places. I'm pretty sure that dude was at 2 different places. So if they bring him up and try to disprove him, I'll be happy to see that disproven. That would be a good thing to disprove.
Day to stock it full of people and did like a stage production, but it was all not real. And it's these kind of statements that you're going to see in this case, and the internal communications.
Oh my god, dude. How do I be like, Alex, can I represent you?
This was a lie. They're not that. They know there's copious evidence out there if you really go look for it that San Diego was open. They were saying.
Unfortunately, there's no evidence for the alternative because it's all been moved away from people's eyes because we're not allowed to see any of that. It's false. So there's only the one narrative at this point. So to say there's copious evidence of anything is it's just a blatant lie and disrespect to people who posted things counter to what he's saying and had it just casually removed from people's view when they truly believe like Alex Jones believed. It's fucking... Because there was some fucking evidence, not just Alex Jones. They really are trying to make it all about him, which is another reason he could be a CIA involved.
Saying this knowing it was false. You'll hear him talk about a Michael Bloomberg email the day before. Michael Bloomberg is the former mayor of New York City. And part of what he has done since being mayor is he's been a real big gun control advocate. And they want to have their viewers believe that Michael Bloomberg sent an email to his supporters saying, hey, 24 hours from now, we're going to have a mass shooting. Everybody get ready to mobilize on it. As if Michael Bloomberg had foreknowledge that they were going to fake this shooting. You're not going to see this email because obviously it doesn't exist. It's made up. Just a lie. You're going to hear about rescue helicopters. Why weren't the rescue helicopters called?
Again, with the fucking assumptions and slander. Alex Jones should sue this fucking lawyer right now. Do it right back to him. Oh, you were saying.
But you're going to find out Mr. Jones doesn't know where the rescue helicopters were coming from. He doesn't know how close the hospital was to Sandy Hook Elementary. And you're going to hear that those EMS, they would have gotten there way faster than a helicopter from way far away. You're going to hear all sorts of things about the ambulances and the EMTs. He tells his audience that they never even allowed EMTs in the building. And I'm guessing here so you don't have to get the EMTs in on the conspiracy, right? You just keep them out of the building.
I hope there's some of these witnesses. If there's not any of these witnesses, that's going to be pretty concerning.
They'll never know it was all fake. It's garbage. EMTs went in that building. Anybody can verify it. It's not hard to figure that out. Most of them have given interviews about what they saw that day. It was the worst day of their lives.
Anyone can figure that out. Dude, we're here on trial. If you don't want to present the evidence, then it's not evidence. What in the fuck kind of fucking bullshit is this? Oh my god.
You're going to hear about that response that day. And yeah, EMTs were in there.
Oh my, I would just destroy lawyers. I would fucking destroy them. They don't know what they're talking about. Total backwards. He's talking about rules right off the bat. It's just exactly that's how this society has become. Forget the fucking foundation. What matters is this like most recent shit. The rules matter most. Rule number 1 and 2. What in the fuck, dude? Aren't you? Oh my god. What is happening?
I was going to tell you that they sealed the death certificates and that even owning one is a felony. That's on an Infowars episode you're going to see. And the truth is, any one of you could right now call up Newtown Clerk and get one for $20. Any of the victims. It's just a lie. You're going to...
Really? They should be online then. Government doesn't fucking mean shit. If the government fucking makes death certificates, it doesn't mean a fucking thing.
I hear him say, as you've already heard him say, that there are photos of the victims who are still alive.
Not in this case, it don't mean a thing. Obviously, they would have death certificates either if they were real or fake, because the government's fucking behind it if they're fake.
This is so disgusting, so repulsive, that I feel silly.
Oh my god, the fucking play on emotion, dude. We're talking law, bro. If you can't handle the heat of the law, then step outside for a minute. I understand if it's a little emotional. We're trying to figure out facts, bro. You don't fucking get it. I don't get it in that life. Pardon me. Me in that life.
Standing
That life, he says. What an asshole I am.
in here and telling you that's false. That's what I have to do in this case. That's where we're at.
Yeah, dude. Maybe look at your government.
I want to show you a video of him saying all these things. This is when Mr. Halbert comes on the show again. And let's listen to what Mr. Jones has to say.
Mr. Halbig, thanks for coming on. Recap who you are. Recap why you question kind of the top 10 or 15 points that I know are on your website of why this doesn't add up. And then now they're really trying to seal everything when they could discredit us anytime they wanted to. Just tell us why Anderson Cooper's nose disappears, why it's blue screen. Just tell us.
Anytime that they want to. And look at that. They want to right now. Right about meow.
Why the people are walking in circles in and out of the building. It appears to be staged. Tell us why they said they didn't catch somebody in the woods when they did. Tell us why the school was closed before and then after, why they've sealed it all, why they've now torn it down. Tell us why Bloomberg sent an email to his people the day before saying get ready to launch an operation to capitalize on the mass shooting. Tell us why you didn't launch the emergency helicopters. Tell us why the ambulance was parked for an hour down the road.
Like, is it all staged? It's literally all staged. It's literally all staged. Is that possible?
Tell us why this appears to be as phony as $3 bill. Wolfgang, thank you for joining us.
That would just mean everyone's life is staged. And this is Truman Show, though. Like, where does it end? The staging, I believe, ends at the end of The Liars. Everyone else is just going about their business. The staging is lies. And so it would probably just only span to where the lies span and no further. I don't think that it's truly staged. Although maybe I just haven't broken through the veil enough. I'm still not seeing through the veil that it all is staged. Darn. To a point where, like, consciously connecting with people who have broken through the veil, who all get to kind of look at people like me who haven't gotten through yet, like, dude, struggling still. Yeah, I know, he's gonna be the last one. He's fucking slow. He's a little slow. I know.
You'll notice these aren't questions. Tell us why this happened. Because it did happen.
But then I'm like, shit dies. I could die, I guess. So when I die, life goes on. So it's all real.
According to Mr. Jones. Be like if somebody came up to you and said, tell me why you're a thief. Tell me why you're a liar. Tell me why you're a murderer. It's not a question. That's not what Mr. Jones was doing. You're going to see that by November 2015, there was more people getting involved in this. As I told you, Mr. Jones was recruiting wild extremists from the fringes of the internet.
Wild extremists again. The labels. The fucking audacity. Notice how they're combining people who question the system with wild extremists.
gentleman was a man named Jim Fetzer.
Oh
Jim
my
Fetzer,
god.
InfoWars helped distribute his book.
Fucking absurd. This is war. This is fucking war. This is straight war. UN's declaring war on conspiracy theorists. This is happening. This is a straight psyop war effort to shut down what they know is dissenting voices out there. It's a fucking war. They're literally fucking acting a war like on people. Fucking
Nobody died at Sandy. Jim Fetzer was a former professor who, in his twilight years, started doing things like this. And wanted his stuff featured on his.
I'm just not gonna fucking acknowledge people. Just gonna fucking snuff them out. No, your voice doesn't matter. You were a liar. You said things that were lies because we don't believe them. Even if they're lies, we don't like that you said them. We prefer you to just say absolute truths like we do. We only say absolute truth. Didn't you notice? Like when I said obviously this and other things that were generic and obviously slanderous. You know, like those things.
And InfoWars wanted to help. And you're going to see the internal emails in which InfoWars helps him distribute this book. This horrific book.
Horrific.
The next month.
People are allowed to question, bro. Shut the fuck up. Horrific. Literally, where's horrific in legal terminology? Like, it's fucking just an adjective to draw on people's emotions to kind of place them in a state of mind. Horrific. Oh, okay. It's that bad, huh? I was thinking it's pretty bad, but when you said horrific, I guess since you've already kind of been persuading me, now I'm understanding just how what's heinous this crime truly is. He should certainly give all of his money to these possible actors who may actually, in fact, be lying still. We don't know, but he should certainly give it all away.
It's important to know that at least a couple of people inside of InfoWars knew what was happening was wrong. They knew it. They didn't just know it, they warned him. Editor-at-large Paul Watson, the editor-at-large of the company, warned Mr. Jones in writing. Now, I know that's probably hard for some of y'all to see, so I'm going to read this to you. This is an email you will see. This is from Paul Watson, the editor at InfoWars, to Buckley at InfoWars, who's another managerial employee, and Anthony at InfoWars, who you'll hear is another managerial employee. And he says, sent this to Alex. He says, this Sandy Hook stuff is killing us. It's promoted by the most batshit crazy people, like Rince and Fetzer, who all hate us anyway. Plus, it makes us look really bad to align with people who harass the parents of dead kids. It's promoted by the most batshit crazy people, like Rince and Fetzer, who all hate us anyway. Plus,
he named them. How rude is that? Now they know that this dude called them batshit crazy. Dude, this fucking so many levels. Now he's got some fucking slander shit going on like that. Why the fuck are they allowed to just casually expose that to the world? And
it makes us look really bad to align with people who harass the parents of dead kids. It's going to hurt us with Drudge and bringing bigger names into the show. Plus, the event happened 3 years ago. Why even risk our reputation for it? And when he's talking about Drudge, some of y'all probably know he's talking about Drudge Report, a website that compiles news links. And if a media organization gets featured on Drudge, it gets a lot of traffic. So Mr. Watson wasn't so much concerned about the morality.
The morality. He was more concerned about. Yeah, that doesn't even mean that he disagrees, that he may actually agree. What he's not comprehending is that people are allowed to have differing opinions to this degree without the fucking overwhelming cunt ass system that's in place to snuffing it out.
He was concerned it's going to make us look bad, and it's going to hurt us with Drudge. This is about money. It's about the bottom line. What he was trying to get Alex Jones to see. And Mr. Watson had very good reason to be alarmed. Not just because of the things that were being said on InfoWars and the things that were being written, but what Mr. Jones was doing on top of it. And one of those things was sending his reporter to Newtown, Connecticut. And what you're going to see is that this reporter, Dan Badandi, who we will find out is a former professional wrestler, he went to Newtown and confronted people in Newtown. I want to show you a video of that. This is going to be Mr. Badandi following around Newtown city officials. And I want you to hear what he says to them.
Can't hear that for shit.
He's covering up the whole operation. They had communication with the helicopter. They're lying on the stand. That's perjury, so you know what perjury is?
I know what perjury is.
You're going to jail, criminal. I'll throw it to retirement. And you, sir, defending criminals, how do you feel about that?
Is he fucking even thinking maybe he's defending criminals?
This guy here is somebody out of Central Casting, a flyer. This is the exact person that they were hired to represent criminals, folks. The Sandy Hook truth is coming out, you people going to jail. You can smile all you want, you're going to jail for fraud. Plain and simple.
Oh my god. That guy went out going ham.
What do you have to say about defending criminals? You're a bunch of frauds, a bunch of criminals. Enjoy your Federal Reserve notes now, scumbag.
I mean, he wasn't violent. It's really his right to speak. What, you mad because you gotta deal with shit? Wow.
I see those people, folks. They're talking about Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was an inside job.
The thing about this is that I think you can tell from this video, Mr. Badandi, that reporter, he probably believes this stuff. I mean, he's being, Mr. Jones used him just as much as anybody. This poor guy, not maybe, not the sharpest thinker sometimes, but he believes this.
So it goes, dude. So it goes. Welcome to the real world. Why are we fucking punishing people? Huh? Fucking ridiculous. Let's look at the real criminal here. This fucking leech of a dead system that doesn't even live. Fucking criminal. That's criminal.
Mr. Jones doesn't. He was happy to have this happen, and you will see that these videos are featured on InfoWars where they brag about scaring people with Newtown.